There we go. Was hoping for a demo. Yes, I wouldn't actually show that scope. I've got a much nicer LCD screen to show demos on, which shows the same picture. Actually, the scope is the spectrum analyzer. It's not in scope mode at the moment. Good evening, Phil. Good to see we have such a large audience. Where are we on the stream? 33 viewers on the stream. Let's kill that sound. Right, 8 o'clock. Good evening all, welcome, I'll shout again. Good evening all, welcome to the BATC Thursday Evening Net. Good to see plenty of people on. Rob, I've got you on the end of the list. News for this week. The big news is the committee have started planning CAT 21. So take a look in your diaries and clear out the 21st and 22nd of August, please. 21st, 22nd of August at Coventry. We are planning, COVID permitting, to have CAT 21. So please put that in your diaries. The other news, remember it's that time of the year when the sun's coming round behind the satellite. So two effects there. First, you can work out where to place your dish. That's clear. And secondly, we'll get increased noise when that happens. Increased noise on the web spectrum monitor and reduced SNR on using the satellite. So that's happening. Thanks to Brian for reminding me that peaks about Tuesday, I think. Got quite a lot on tonight. Got 8 so far. The order I have is G7JTT, G8GTZ, G7NTG, G0MJW, HB9DUG, G4GUO, G4HJW, and M0DTS. I'll type that out in a minute. And any others who want to join us, and good evening to all the watchers. So, straight round to John. G7JTT to take it, G8GKQ and the BATC Net.
Right, good evening all. Hopefully I've increased as much as I can squeeze out of this PA, and I'll produce FEC, so I'm really hoping that you get to see me tonight, which will be a change. Right, what have I been up to? A couple of things really. One, for Bernie, as I see was on, I managed to find a piece of tubing in, I just realised I've got my sewing running on a sec, in BATC blue. Excuse the speaker at the back, that's just a casing to hold the lens. And if I get that in about right, you can probably see the LED in the mirror. And if I get the angle just right, you can see the star arrangement of the heatsink, and you can see how I've used 4 screws extended in there to hold it. So that's that. I've got it puts an incredibly bright light. It's only a 3 watt and it's only running at 600 milliamps, and I'm able to illuminate trees over the back of me a good half a mile away and see the fact that I'm illuminating them. So the beam looks fairly parallel. I think I've got the focal point fairly spot on, but that's how far we've got with that. And it was quite handy that the guys had this pipe there, and they had it in blue and they had it in black, and I just said to him, "You ain't got off-cut that, have you?" And he said, "How big do you want?" I said, "Well, I only about a foot long." Well, for a foot long, he gave me something about 3 foot long. And he asked if I wanted in black or blue, so I had to get the blue. So anyway, that's that. The other thing that I have got, which I think others have used, but was one of these model drone power meter things. But it's actually quite useful, to be honest. It's got a Minikit's 30 dB attenuator, which is useful obviously because you can use it up to more power. And I've also got somewhere, I'm not done with it, a 20 dB coupler, which is good for 100 watts. So with the combination of that, I should be able to measure my output finally and try and figure out what's gone wrong with the cabling. On a slightly silly note, I'm hoping that a friend of mine who's just come out of operations, he's just told me, up in London, we grew up together, first got into CB together, and I then moved away from London. He took his amateur test and I took mine about a year later, I think, and then we tried to work each other via digipeters in them days, but we've never really made a contact with each other. So I'm hoping to get him up on the satellite. It'd be quite interesting, but I just need to do something silly and then I should pass it round to whoever's next. So I forgot to look, Noel. So just bear with me and humour me for 2 minutes. But there's Paul, G7EWS, who hopefully is watching, and that's certainly going to embarrass him. So anyway, with that, I'll pass it around to Noel, and as I say, hopefully people have been able to see the pictures for once tonight. G8GTZ to take it, G7JTT.
G8GTZ, evening all, and good to be back. Had a couple of weeks off, but things are back to normal now. So hopefully you'll be getting pictures from me. Lots going on here, amateur radio wise. I think it's a bit of the extreme to the core blimey, or whatever it is, sublime to the core blimey, because there's 2 or 3 projects running. The first thing I'm doing is I'm rebuilding my portable system. So it's oops, too much audio. So those of you who know, I have great difficulty going out portable. There's wires and bits and pieces all over the place, so I'm desperately trying to get it into one box. So I bought a very nice Sroff case off eBay a month or so ago. Unfortunately, it was a bit too deep, so I've had to cut it. It's not quite as deep as it was, but in there currently is housed the 29, 50, 70 and 144 meg PA on this side of the amplifier, on with switchery. On the other side of the heat sink tunnel is the UHF PA and the 23 sems PA. So the intention is to try and get everything in there, and also the ports down, so the whole thing is combined. I actually had to cut it down, Mike. That was a bizarre thing. It was 500mm deep. It's a lovely case, but it was 500mm deep, and it's just too deep. It's too deep even for the shack. So I had to cut it down, which in its own right was a bit of an art for me. So that's going on. So that's the big PAs, and as I say, it'll be hopefully this is the front panel here. I'm going to mount the ports down in here, so it's all totally self-contained. Bought one of these power current DC volts meters to go on the front as well. Got a eBay 24 to 28 volt inverter and bits and pieces like that. So that's all going on there. Hopefully I'll have the 77 PA earlier job. Hopefully, yeah, I know. It's probably too big, or it's too little, or it's too heavy, or it's what, and you know, it's bound not to be right. But at least it's an attempt. Second thing is, and I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, 47 gigs. As the very, very expensive box from Germany has arrived to go along with the mixers. So on the bench there's a very expensive box, which is a little amplifier, and it's got a am I still in? Yes, I am. It's got a plate on the front, so you actually turn it around between transmit and receive. So lots of intense mechanical work got to go on there, but it should give quite a reasonable performance. The actual 47 gig mixer is that, and that's the yellow strip. I've spent an awful long time really working on the yellow strip to get the programming and the hardware mods right. So the phase noise performance isn't too bad now, which means it should run DATV. But I've got a video I'll play next time round about that. It goes together. And then the final thing is, yes, I had to buy one off eBay. I actually bought two because there's nothing worse than not being able to receive or transmit or anything, and I can make the other one into a beacon. So I've actually got two. I've got a 47 gig dish here. Well, it's not quite true. I tell a lie. It's where am I going to? So there's a dish with it's actually a 38 gig dish, but that will work. And so that's that. And the final thing I've been doing, and this is the Sublime to the Core Blimey. I'm absolutely blown away. Which there was something on Twitter about a thing called a log, a loop on the ground, which is a 15-meter loop. You just literally lay it on the lawn. It's receive only, a little ballon, and it's absolutely amazing. Low noise. I've never really listened on HF. I'm absolutely blown away with the performance of this loop on the ground. It's amazing. So if anybody fancies having a listen on HF and doesn't want to put up any big antennas, that is amazing. John BAO tweeted about it, and it was incredible. And finally, PCBs for the shop. These are what the PCBs look like when they arrive. So there's 15 Nooker PCBs, some GPIOs, and the advanced receiver PCB, which one is in the post to mic. So there we go. Anyway, far more than enough from me, so I'll pass it round to whoever's next, and I never bothered Jim. Round to you, Jim. G7.
Right, just make sure I'm on and turn the sound off. Right, just make sure I'm on and turn the sound off. Right, that's it. Right, okay, yeah. Thank you, Noel. That's some very interesting stuff there, and piles of PCBs. That looks really good. Yes, I've just about finished a little bit of a problem I had that you're probably aware of with these pallets. The ones that keep arcing over, and they arc over on the output track. So because we've moved the frequency from 2.1 gigs to 2.4, I think there's a horrible mismatch, SWR mismatch, causing very high voltages somewhere. And well, it was Malcolm G7HPE who came with that, and I think he's absolutely right with that. So I had it's frozen on me. A few of these out. I've actually sold 4 of these, so I did a big callback. So I've got one more to come back from a customer in Germany, so that's why it's taking a little while. And I've replaced all those pallets with this one, which has 3 devices of the same type, and this doesn't give me any problems. So nearly sorted out. Bit of a headache, but got to do everybody happy, I think. I saw Tony on, not Tony, Peter, G10AR, he was on earlier using one that I'd converted for him. He was the one who brought it to my attention because he had one blow up. I thought, oh, that's strange, it must be wiring. And so he brought it over, I fixed it, and he blew that up straight away too. So I thought, no, there's something wrong with this. That's not right, that shouldn't happen. So I changed the pallet for him and for his friend as well, and they've both got the new pallet, so they should be alright. So I've been busy changing pallets, been quite busy. You can see a few of them on the bench behind me. I built 3 of the ones with the 3 devices on, the good one, and I've been hammering them all over the last 10 days or so, and they're behaving very nicely. No problems at all with them, so don't need to worry about that. But there you go, I think I've got them all. Nobody's going to be left high and dry. I always give a 12-month guarantee anyway, so everybody's safe. So anyway, I think it's around to Mike now. So it's G0MJW from G7NTG.
Right, that's good. Evening everybody, G0MJW. So, a few issues which seem to be occurring with the very latest bleeding edge alpha firmware. Does a lot of other things, and I've probably just made a setting error. But yeah, all they're interesting so far. I liked the look of those PCBs, Noel, and there's one in the post. Now the question is, I've got one of those, and I've got 4 of these, all predecessors. What do you do with old PCBs when they've been superseded? I don't know. Anyway, the idea is I'm going to build up another copy of that PCB, the one that Noel showed you, and then if that works, hopefully things will be ready for other people to get them. We'll see anyway. Right, what else? Just a few things really. This turned up this week. Don't know if that show up well on shaky cam. From Russia. Surprisingly quickly actually. And it's quite heavy. It's got a big lump of copper in it. It's a 6 metre and 4 metre dual MRF 300 PA, which is what we were talking about last week. So I've now got a single one and we've got this double one. Whether it works, I don't know. It was cheap. It wasn't very expensive at all for what it is, and it looks really well made. It looks lovely. The capacitors are, well, let's say Russian, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not good. They could be perfectly adequate, and I suspect they probably will be. And in the RF power bit, anyway, it's this loop of coax, so we'll see if it works. But that'll take a while. It's capable of 500 watts, which I reckon will be about 50 watts by the time it's got to DATV application, so yeah, for DVB-T. Was there anything else? I don't think so. And anyway, there'll probably be another round. So with a lot of us on, I think it's Michael next, HB9DUG. So over to you. Before that, though, Martin, turn off your speakers.
Un, deux, trois. Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you again on the net. So, those last 10 days I've been working on the hardware things. You remember I showed you some nice pictures of a big tower with big parabols, big dishes, and I've started to modify one of them for receiving QO100. So this is the end of what we call in French canne d'aveugle, I think blind man cane, maybe in English. So it was some mechanical problem because my milling machine is only with 60 centimeter table, and this piece is about 1 meter 60 or 70. So I have removed a part of it to be able to install the new feed, which is from Germany with a patch antenna and integrated with the LNB. So I'm working on finishing that these coming days, so we can go back on the tower and to install it. Also find a very nice Tupperware kind of case to put it over, and I've checked it on my microwave even for the 2.4 gigahertz, and on my receiving antenna for 10 gig, so to see that's not making any difference on the receiving side. So that's one is keeping me on the basement. And the second thing is this very nice Chinese box that certainly you have heard about. This encoder, but also decoder is not written here, but also 265, 264, and some very nice things like is supporting the NDI transport protocol and also SRT protocol. So quite interesting. Got a very nice interface. Let me see if I can, yeah. Let me take out some camera. Missing one camera, yeah. So you see here the browser interface, which is very nice. a lot of parameters that you can set up on the box. So I'm looking forward to use it. I have already tested on the BATC streamer, and it works nicely. You can do it's got HDMI input, got also sorry, I lost the connection. So it got also a USB port where you can switch on USB camera, and you can also output HDMI. So lovely box, many features that I'm starting to look after, and hoping that at some point could be integrated on some of the product we have from BATC and from Evarist. I've already tried to feed the Portsdown 4 without any problem on the in IPTS inputs. So I'm a little bit lost with all my cameras. Sorry. That's it. So the next one after me is G4GUO. So I give you back the frequency with 5 seconds of interrupt, because I've about 6-7 second delay before.
If I need to reduce the output power slightly, I should do reduce the, yeah, I've got loads of SSH terminals open at the moment. The transmitter's actually running on a Jetson Nano in the shed. It's all being done over Ethernet, and I've got OBS running on Windows and the SSH section running on Windows, and loads of windows open, and it's a bit confusing. Oh, I've got very high null packets according to this. Oh well, we'll just have to live with that. Haven't been doing very much to myself. I've got a Pluto Plus on order, which has got as far as Birmingham apparently, so it'll be interesting to see how much duty and tax I get charged on that. That should reduce the power slightly. And other than that, I bought myself a green radio. It's a Rapel Syncpal 2000. It's actually got a VFO on it, so I've been trying to get all the bits for that, like a telescopic whip and the software to drive it. So that's it from me. I'll hand it back to whoever's next in the net. So here we go. Better make sure I don't flip the end.
Right, I think that'll do it. G4HJW, good evening everybody. And nice for it to be a little bit warm in the shack than it normally is. Now that card I shall come back to in a minute, but I'll just go over to the camera. You know, I've had problems. I've not been very
happy with the video quality. As I'm sure you know, I know it's freezing up and I can't really look around yet. Doing it again, which is why I haven't been on for the last few weeks. The quality of the picture is quite good. It's very good, as is that ident card on my VX, but this is just horrible what's coming out here. Breaking up again. So if somebody dare tell me that it's DATV Express, would somebody like to suggest what else I should be trying? Because this is hopeless. That's not very good, is it? So sorry about that. Anyway, on to other things. The optical looks good, John, but I assume the lens doesn't go in there, or does the fan just the air from the fan going all sorts of strange directions because the end is blocked up with a lens? Be interesting to know that. And you could put the fan in front of the leg, and just it'd be nice to hear that tone, wouldn't it? A mechanical audio tone generator rather than electronic. Like the MR300 devices, Mike, I tried to get some of those a while back, and the ones were at a price that I didn't mind paying were on the waiting list, so I didn't bother. And I tend to use IRP 450s, but then I do operate down on 80 metres. And the thing I've been busy with that's related to that for the last month, 6 weeks or so, I don't know whether I can mention on here. The 70 megs was fine, and I'm pleased I got some encouragement, at least one person on that. But my latest project has been a top band AM transceiver. So as somebody was saying on the text there, I'll go and get my coat now, I suppose, and wander off. And I really, to sort out what I've got on the TV here, AM needs a bit of advice what software I should use as Bluetooth, and I need time to really look into it. So I apologise for how all it all is. And that will come after sorting out UV3K. We've had 12 years birth of the 24G beacon, which John BAO did, and my 10 gig one, and they both went forward to before Christmas, but John's was only the crystal going out of lock, whereas mine seems to be, although I've got an oven crystal that should only be at about 45 degrees C, because we're it's located halfway up a water tower, so the temperature in there just really doesn't change much through the year. But when I opened it up, the FR4 board was quite dark, so the temperature's been a lot higher than that. And I'm not looking forward to looking at that, but I've got my top Monday done, so I guess I'll have to I'll have to get onto the 371. But I'm very happy with both because they've lasted over a decade without being touched. We don't even go up once a year just to dust off the antenna radar. So there you go. Right, it's on to Rob now, I think. Oh no, before I do, I'm just going to have a look at my card that I put on at the start of the over. It's a really brilliant and vibrant colour, but it comes through looking really awful and washed out. So again, can I blame this on the
Right, hopefully that's worked. is that? Settings. Have I got audio? Anyone? Just double check. Nice picture, no audio. Yeah. Why? Why no audio? Line 1 and 2, okay. Low audio. Ah, okay. So there is some audio there. Let's just see. Oh yeah, there is audio there, isn't there? Let's see if I can fix that just quickly. I don't know why that is. Let's see. Oh yeah, I know why. Okay. May just go off briefly. Have we got any audio now? Doesn't sound like it, does it? We do. Okay, that is better, hopefully. Yes, okay, right. Not a very good start. A little more. Oh, right. Right, that might just do it. Yeah, I'm running various different new things, and it was working perfectly fine before I left the computer earlier, and then I've come back to it, and now it doesn't want to play. And the audio now seems to have gone. How strange. It isn't playing ball tonight, is it? It's okay. Okay, right, I'm not getting my own audio for some reason. I don't know why that is. Okay, right. Yeah, anyway, that was just a live status via MQTT on the screen there that I've managed to pipe in via a script into OBS. Right, we should be with it now. Yeah, it's just not my own receiver didn't lock onto my signal again. Refreshed it, so that should be fine now. Okay. Actually, not a lot to report. Haven't got a great deal done today. Been at work the last 4 days, so not really any progress there since last week, really. Done a little bit more to the 2-meter ramp, put the front panel on and everything like that, so that's looking quite snazzy, but still got a few issues to resolve, and one of them being the so-called spike, RF spike with the ALC on various radios. So I'm going to be driving it with the ICOM 9700 from the shack, and that's basically 100 watts out on 2 meters, well, about 80 something watts on 2 meters. But I'll only be driving it at like power setting number 1% or 2% or something like that. So need to sort out that, but hopefully that's just going to be a case of diode detection with an op amp, set a bit of threshold, and then a pin diode switch with some either quarter wave low pass filters, get the quarter wave shift and some pin diodes. So hopefully that shouldn't be too bad to do. It'll also avoid any high power input as well. It should trip it off and go into the receive path. So working on that. What else? I've put the controller back on for the dish with the H-bridge for the motor drives and everything, and that's now working okay again. So I've got control of the dish, so I peaked it up again on SAL this afternoon. Got that working, so a few little tests on that. But yeah, this is running the it with 25 to 50 watts and use a large attenuator, well, that would be good, but I'm not always going to be using my radio to drive the amp. I'm going to be using a lower power amp in the shack for 146.5 to drive the other amp outside, because I've got like 6 dB of loss or something down the cable to the antenna. So the little problem with that is I won't have enough drive to drive the amp up. So it's a bit of a problem. So I don't know how I'm going to go about that yet, but someone else come over the top of me there? There we go. We're back again. Yeah, I could put a switch in there, but we shall see. But anyway, I'll work on that and see what's what. But I'm going to keep it at a low level input for now, so I can drive with TV. But I might just use a different radio. Right. Anyway, so let's put it round to Colin with his super high res, high def video, G4KLV, 0 DTS. On the QL100 net.
Okay, thanks a lot, Rob. Excellent. Okay, thanks a lot. No, I pressed info instead of mute. Dear oh dear. I'm trying something new today that I haven't tried before. So, I'm trying to find a camera. There we are. There we are. We've made it. I'm using the script that was put on the forum. I haven't actually tried it. I tried it on SQ, but there we are. So I'll just see what it actually comes up as. It comes up with the right call sign and everything. Yeah, that's all right. We've done that bit then. All right, that's good. Yeah, so I thought I'd give it a go. As I'm not monitoring the audio, so hopefully that'll keep going. But I've been messing about trying to get higher resolution into SQ with a little success, but but there we are. Yeah, so we're trying that for the first time. I've been using the script that Mike G0MJW provided me with, and that's been working fine. But I haven't sort of dialed in all the sort of low symbol rate stuff. But I'm trying this new one, so we'll give that a go. I've been messing about in the shack with various bits and pieces. You remember these boards here for the mini tune? People were asking, how do you get the other side? How do you get the other side to work? if you got for ports A and B. But and so I've been doing some messing about with one of these Mini Tuner S, and that's quite useful. We did a little mod. We did a little mod to make the LEDs change colour, and did a little board for that. So when it's got different voltages coming out, the boards change colour. Also changed the RT5040 something or another module in there, so the fault light works on it as well. So we did that, and then I thought, what about the old faithful V2? And so I thought, could we do the same treatment? Well, we looked for the outputs for the second LMB, and they don't actually exist. So what I've done is I've tricked it into believing it's a Mini Tuner S, and then the outputs do appear. So I've sort of rewired it inside, and now if I and I built a little board which I'll show you in a minute. If I go to port A and switch, what's it got on there at the minute? Let's have a look. I better get to the other Mini Tuner S. That's it. And then switch on the 13 volts. You won't see the that's on B actually. That's on B. You won't see the colours with the camera, which is a nuisance really, because that's a beautiful green. Just take it from me. That's a beautiful green which you can't see. You might see the blue if you're lucky. You might see, yeah, you can see. You can just about make out that's a blue. Well, you can't really, can you? But there we are. And likewise, if you go to port A, switch on the 13 volts, then that comes up. It's a really bad demo actually, because you're not seeing the colours at all. But you can see that's 18 volts, which is blue. 13 volts, which is green. And also, if you short the thing out, either of them on these, it will then turn red. I wonder what that'll do. Oh, you can see the red. You can see the red. You can see the red if you short it out. I haven't tried the other one. There we are. Yeah, you can just about make out that's red. You can almost see that's green if you squint a lot. So that's what we've been doing, and that's a little board that we've done here that plugs in. I can't see what I'm looking at actually. I need to better see OBS ideally. Oh, there we are. Oh, that's interesting. What a strange effect. What have I got? Some have I got? I haven't got. I think I might have. Yeah, maybe that'll. I think this. I think I've got something else running, haven't I? I've got a green screen going somewhere. And the green board. No wonder you couldn't see the green. Yeah, there's a green screen. I'm not going to work that out today. But it's obviously it's obviously set. This OBS is set up for green screen. So I have to turn that off really, wouldn't I? You can't see the board at all now. Again, you can't see anything at all. It just goes black. Oh dear, I forgot that was on. Anyway, done that little board. That's the first time I've shown the camera something green, isn't it? Obviously, no wonder that green was looking so weird. I can't remember how to turn it off now. I'll come back. I'll come back to that another time. Blue's all right. Yeah, blue works, but green doesn't. Yeah, I've still got this set up for something else. Yes, I have got chroma key. I've got it on there. So no one. That was a good demo, wasn't it? Showing a green LED with something. No wonder it was a weird colour. So yeah, there's. I turned the background off, but it's obviously. Yeah, let's not worry about that. There's not enough time for that. Otherwise, it'll be a normal KLB over that'll go on forever. So there we go. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, not to worry. So yeah, well, this script seems to be going as far as I can tell. Let's get back to the other mini tune. Oh, actually, I've got a Ryde going as well, so I can see it's still working. So that's good. I could prove it, couldn't I? I could prove it. Is it? I don't know. Is that going to do something if I? Yeah, I think so. I don't know what it is actually. Let's. I'm just seeing if it is that. No. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, that's what it is. It is set in there. There we are. That's pretty, isn't it? There we are. So oh dear. Anyway, not to worry. Okay, that'll do from me, I think. So. Oh dear. Yeah, so that's what it was. Obviously, that's obviously what it was. We've got chroma key and still turned on. So there we go. I can get that further down, but I'm just going to go now, I think. Okay then, 7.3s, and I'm not sure who is going to next. Whoever was first, probably Dave, I expect. So over to you, Dave. If it's to you, G4KLB.
Yeah, I sneaked in, Colin, G4FKK. So this is working. Oh yeah. I was having all sorts of problems with the audio on Zoom. Yes, I was trying to do multitasking earlier, Dave. So I was half watching the net and half involved in a one of my ex-colleagues leaving do, whose last day at the BBC's tomorrow. But so I just want to say hello to everybody. I have missed most of what's going on, although I did see Michelle's decoder, stroke encoder. That looks good. And the new patch looks very posh. You say it's got a short on it, Mike. I wonder, and it looks like more than 3mm gap, so I guess that's doing something clever. And Bernie, HJW, I spoke to Bob a few days ago on 80 metres, who said he's one of your near neighbours, so hopefully we'll be able to cross trails on 70 megs before too long. And you too, Mike, with your new rather posh looking amplifier. The other day I was trying to, on the activity weekend, work Noel on 4 metres, and then we tried 6. And I'm sure I heard you on 6 metres on sideband, and you were quite strong here. I could just about hear Noel, but I thought I could hear you quite well. So we'll have to try that one day. And the emergency lights on the mini tuner look excellent, Colin. I've not done a great deal, certainly not TV this week. I did, where's camera 2? I've been working on, more as an academic exercise, been working on this. It's the start of a high power automatic remote matching unit for HF with a stepper motor. And you can see my horrible bodged breadboarding technique here. So that's just an Arduino. Right, that'll do for me. So I think it is back to you now, Dave. G8 GK. And let's have a quick look just in case someone else has popped up. No. So back round to you, Dave. G8 GKQ G4FKK.
G4FKK, G8GKQ. Let's kill the sound, that works. I'll turn the sound down as sound variability seems to be this evening's subject, but yeah, a level meter would be really useful. I think we then wouldn't need an AGC, Tim. But I know it's not easy because I had a look at doing it on Portsdown and moved away from it fairly quickly. Nice portable unit, Noel. Yep, you are going to run out of space because you'll want to put more in it, but it looks really good. Nice to see all the power amplifiers floating around tonight. Haven't done anything at that end of the power spectrum this week. Michelle, the feed you showed us with the white rocket lens on the front of it, I wonder how good it is on receive on QO100, whether it's as good as normal LNB, because I've seen some of those that aren't so good. For all those watching, the chat is the chat that goes along with the net, the text chat, is on the wideband side, not on the streamer. But I was really impressed to see that we have 44 viewers currently on the streamer, so it's marvellous. Colin, really nice picture from that script. The one thing I did notice, your null packets aren't normal null packets. They were 01 FFE packets, not 01 FFFs, which everybody else has, so, or most other people have, which seemed a bit strange, but the pictures were excellent. And yes, I'd like to go back to living in a place where I can see the beach out of the window. Bernie, no null packets. They're fake null packets, yes. Bernie, no null packets on yours. And I think the reason your signal was breaking up is there was just too much in it, audio and video. Okay. Okay, what have I been doing this week? Well, I've been working on the Portsdown 4. You can just about see it down in the corner of the picture here. That's not the one I'm transmitting on. And I've done a software release this week that I didn't publicise much, but it's a minor improvement to EasyCap inputs. To the EasyCap input on the Portsdown 4, but the main thing was to make it good enough to use for a repeater. So now there is a build for a Portsdown 4 driving a Lime SDR using an EasyCap for a repeater. So if anybody wants to use a Portsdown 4 and a Lime SDR, we have a reliable repeater solution for that. I have been looking at feeding it with an HDMI dongle. One of these things had a little bit of success, but not startling. It's 10 frames per second, 720p, but 10 frames per second just looks a bit jumpy to me. The other thing I've looked at is the power spike on the Lime SDR. It seems since I did the first testing, which was back in the days of Lime Suite 18, they've changed the code and it's not now possible to set it to calibrate and hold the calibration setting through a power off. So I need to have another look at that. But basically you do need to key the PA to make sure that you don't transmit that power spike. Almost a similar problem to the Rob was talking about with the power spike out of his transceiver. Lastly, I've been looking at software on NUCA and Ryde, or DVB-T and DVB-S receivers, so we can have both tuners plugged in at the same time. Tim's written the software so we can have both plugged in and Ryde work. Charles and I have been trying to get the NUCA to work with the mini tuner plugged into the same Raspberry Pi. I didn't get a chance to look at it any further, Charles, after our discussions earlier, but we'll get there. Thanks very much for the exploration on the null packets, where they're coming from. That's really interesting. Good to see. I did wonder if we might see Peter G10AR on tonight, as I saw his test transmissions earlier, but clearly not. Let's go back round to John for a quick final round, but thanks everybody for coming on. Lots of interesting stuff going on. G7JTT in the net, G8GKQ.
Right, hopefully that should be working. Right, okay, let me just switch some things off. Right, I've got sound. Right, as everyone's talking about 80 metres, I just switched mine on just to show you the interference I'm getting, and it appears it's switched off at the moment, but I've just discovered the call sign, I don't know, probably quarter of a mile or less away from me. I'm pretty sure it is this guy. So if I switch over, there's obviously a CW contest going on at the moment. I won't turn the sound on, but it is, where's the screen? G3XSD literally lives, I say, less than a quarter of a mile away, but you can see such a strong signal. It's actually flattening the receive front end. So anyway, so there we go. And this, by the way, this little piece of software here is excellent for decode. It gets it 99% right. It's called CW Decoder Logic. I think it was by an Italian guy, if I remember rightly. Oh no, LY3H. So wherever that is that Italy? I don't know. Anyway, wherever that might be. So that was that. Back to me. There was something else. Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention on my first over. Many thanks to Dominic if you're watching, or Dominique, is it? Dominic, I think that's it. F1 EJP. It's working excellent. That's what I'm using at the moment as well. So very good stuff. Okay, right, round to, I've lost my screens. It must be Noel, I think, G8 GTZ, G7 JTT in a group.
Okay, yeah, nothing much from this end. Interesting evening. Lots going on, and fascinating to see what everybody's doing. John, interesting that CW decoder. Very useful. Yes, I think probably my 82-meter adventure is probably going to last for a couple more days, and that will be about it, I think. Yeah, nothing much else. So I'll say good night to everybody. Great to see you all on, and we'll be seeing you next week. Jim to take it, wasn't it? G7NT.
Right, just remember to turn off my sound. Okay, mute it, that's better. Okay, oh, one thing I forgot on the first time around was to you, Dave. Congratulations on getting the Lime Mini working again. I'd given that up as a bad job. You probably gathered I put 12 volts into it. Silly mistake. But it happens, doesn't it? And yes, over the years I have occasionally blown the odd thing like that. Not too many though. I'm usually pretty good. So very interesting stuff on tonight. That has opened up a few possibilities as well. Some of the things that have been on. Yeah, the power spike on the Lime Mini. That I think the safest way always has been to use a relay running off the PTT. That's how I've done it on all mine anyway. Because a friend of mine blew his 77's PA up with the power spike. So and a 23 SEMS one as well. So it's we measured it. I put a Hewlett Packard power meter on, and the spike was 10 dBs more powerful than the final signal. So it was a colossal jump. So 10 dB extra power is enough to pop anything, I think. Right, anyway, I'm going to say 73s, and I will pass it on to Mike's G7MJW from G7NTG. Over to you, Mike.
Okay, so like I'm back. Well, not much to add. That I just wanted to show you some alternative to this very nice product that you see here, Knocker. You can do, I need to be honest, almost the same, just in software and with GNU radio. So you have here the graph, which does the receiving part with well, I'm using Etus box called B200 USRP, and then you have the decoding part here and feeding VLC. So it works quite nicely, and you have the GU here. I'm going to show it to you. That is the interface where I can select 1 meg, 500, 250 and 125 is what I have done. You see the spectrum here. You don't see the constellation because I'm receiving, I'm using the Portstone 4 to receive tonight, so I cannot show you a reception of DVB-T made by the Portstone 4. So it's also what I'm looking and doing to change from mechanical things. That's it for tonight for me, and I'm pleased to give back the frequency to Charles. I think G4GUO. Over to you, and I wish to all of you a nice evening.
I think it's back. I rebooted the Pluto. I think it's back. Yeah, not sure what happened there. I had to reboot it. It seemed to have got into some state where it was unstable. Yeah, I tried that, Everest. It didn't work, reapplying settings, so I rebooted it and it was fine. So I'm not sure quite what happened there, but it did something strange. All really interesting this evening. Not much I can add, I think, apart from 80 meters. I can't show you a picture of 80 meters because the camera is not set up for that, but there's lots of signals on 80. Not much by way of noise, so it's fine. But down the bottom of the band there is the contest, and there's loads of some of them are sending at ridiculous speeds, and some of you probably even decoded that, but I couldn't. Yeah, so I will hopefully the parcel will arrive from Noel tomorrow or on Saturday, and the bits are coming from DigiKey. They claim they'll arrive tomorrow. I only ordered them on Wednesday, so that would be remarkable, but I think they might be a bit later. But I have most of the parts all ready to build this second Windhill, so we'll see how it goes. And hopefully things will be posted today, Noel. Okay, so I'll probably get it next Wednesday. So it might be a bit of a delay, but that'll give Brian more time to finish the software, or at least to make some adjustments to the software he's already finished. Right, okay. I'm not sure who's next. I think it should be Charles, but Let's see. Maybe Dave will confirm. G0MJW.
Have I got audio? Yeah, got audio. Quite a lot of delay. Yeah, okay, Dave. Fine on the knucker stuff, but as I said, what I did is I took the knucker code and I duplicated the stdi initialize routines and one to open the combi tuner and the other to open the mini tuner, and then I tried it in all sorts of combinations and I couldn't break it, but obviously that's running on a single task, so possibly when I assume what you're doing is running on two tasks, and that might mess things up, I suppose, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, here's my my knucker equivalent. I can get the Pluto out of the way. Oh, I'll disconnect the power. But I'm using a very old version 1 or whatever it is, and I've just put the new NIM on the end and made a slight change as a link that needs doing on the other side, and so that's what I'm currently using as the knucker. And Art W8RMC managed to get his knucker to work, or his development board to work with his local DVB-T repeater. My signal strength is rather too high. Hold on. 0. Let's say 82. Some reason or other, the power's not going down. Oh, well, it seems as if I can't change the power level. All right, well, I'll hand it over to whoever's next from G4GUO.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but the DATV Express software crashed. Right, I put a different card on there because Noel, you had that very nice ground-mounted antenna for 80 meters receive, and all that picture you can see there is my 80 meter RX antenna. You should be able to spot where it is. It's wound on the gate there, and it works very well. I use that on 80 in top band. I have a lot of mains noise, and the road is behind where the camera is, and so I get a null on the mains wire line. So I'm very pleased with that. The other loop I used to have, which came down to make room for the two dishes I'm using now, was when it comes up, was that one, the 28mm dual copper tube loop, and that should have worked better than it did, but I never quite got the performance out of that that I expected. When I first moved in here some 30 odd years ago, I had an octagonal loop, same sort of thing, but 1.5 meters sides, that worked a treat on transmit on the top band, but I could never. I flattened this later one, and it just wouldn't do what I wanted it to do. So I don't know why that was. So anyway, let's come back to my ugly one. I thought you might be interested in that. And yes, Martin. So you're the person that Bob, G2UDI, speaks very well of, to embarrass him and to embarrass you. But I hadn't put two and two together and realised that you're the Martin he was talking about. But I had enough information to do that. But I just hadn't done. I think that'll do for me this week. I shall have to. Well, you know what I said to you earlier, Dave. I hate the signal I'm putting out, and it doesn't encourage me to carry on coming up on a Thursday until I get that sorted out. It's just so bad. Not RF wise, but content wise, it's not good. So on to you, Rob. I'll see you all next week, no doubt. But if I don't improve the signal, it'll just be.
Right, should be good this time. Yeah, it certainly sounds like it. Yeah, we've got audio. Yeah, I've added a few more little bits in there off every new stuff on the Pluto. So yeah, the top one is the actual Pluto measurements that it's sending via MQTT stuff. Don't really know a great deal about it, but anyway, just a sort of messaging system. And then the actual encoder box IP encoder box settings are at the bottom there, or some information from there that I've just grabbed and stuck in. It's not really been processed properly or anything, but you can see exactly what I'm running there with the encoder box and decide either way whether it's good or not good. Okay, right. Back to the camera. See how that's doing. Yeah, I've heard a comment on your stuff before, Noel. Looks like you're getting quite busy with 47 gigs. It's just not a band I've ever got to yet. The closest I've got is actually some DB6NT boards with something from your chat here. There we go. Yeah, some boards with the diodes on, just like you use them on 134 gigs, which I think are in here. Oh, okay. What's there? Oh, right, there we go. Yeah, there is. There's actually there. See if that comes through. That's a. Is that a 76? No, it's a 76 gig one. No, I haven't actually got anything for 47, you know. I thought they were 47 gig boards, but they're 76 gig boards. One of them's got a diode on. Anyway. Yeah, mistaken there. So, yeah, I don't have anything for that. Actually, I was going to mention, actually. Hang on. Stand by. I'll just get the other unit. Right. So that is here, which has got quite a few wires coming out of it. That is a 38 gig end wave transceiver, which that's what I was looking to get on 47 gigs. but I haven't really had the test equipment to be able to measure anything up that way, to be able to figure out whether I can use the LNA or the PA on it or anything like that. It'll certainly need some modification, but yeah, if I opened that one up, it's got a lot of filters in there. But anyway, that needed plus 8 volts, minus 12 volt, and plus 5.5. That particular one. They're similar to the Broadurn units that I was playing around with for 24 gigs, but they work really, really well. But yeah, I've just not got that far on these yet. They're kind of shelved there for use, but not actually done. But they would actually work for a 76 gigs. You'd have like multiply by 2 and get up to there. So yeah, I bought them quite a long time ago. The intention on getting on 47 gigs, but 80 gigs is certainly, or 76 is certainly the band I'll go to after 122 anyway. I still haven't done anything with the 122 gigs. And this week I subscribed to those 1K per QSO. Yeah, you're not far off. I think these things are about 20 quid, so if we can get anything out of them, then that'll be quite good. What was I going to mention there? Assuming you make several, yeah. I subscribed to the 30 terahertz. Is it 30 terahertz? Yeah, the amateur 30 terahertz groups.io. So basically that's detecting heat. Bernie will be aware of that one, probably a few others as well. But, I can't remember who it was now. Was it? It's Andrew. I can't remember his call sign now. He put a video up of basically detecting heat sources at a distance, but 30 terahertz anyway. So that's something to play around with, and I do actually have something which will work on there. That's basically one of these thermal sensors with the particular chip that he used. Not that it would be very critical which one, but that's a little sensor. I did have that set up to with a bit of copper tube on it as a waveguide to try and measure power levels at 134 gigs. So I had something soldered on the end of there, a bit of waveguide at 134 gigs, trying to measure the power into that with the RF on and off, and you could detect something. That has been documented before, so that was quite interesting. But I don't think I'll be doing any of that anytime soon, but certainly interesting. See how far that would travel. How far can you get a heat source to go? Big dish. But there we are. Anything else? I think Terry's nearly got the 3 Ryde receivers boxed up into KM, or it can't be far away anywhere. So hopefully we'll get them into the rack, and then there should be some fairly permanent receive on. And as you were, Charles, I'm trying to think, when I was debugging something last week, I think I had a SSH to 3 Ryde receivers. So yeah, 3 Raspberry Pis, and then the actual control logic in KM was another one, so that was 4. And then I think I was logged into the router via Telnet as well at KM to do something. So you know what it's like when you get that many SSH sessions up on the screen, you lose track of where you're at. So that was quite tricky. But yeah, I know how you feel with that. I don't know. Soldering iron transmitter, yeah, Jim, soldering iron would be a good transmitter on there, definitely, yeah. Yeah, Barry. Yeah, Barry's quite keen on it. He's been detecting buses and cars at about 80 or 100 meters away, something like that. I've got a picture of his receiver. Let's see. Can I tell? I'm just quickly scrolling through emails here, see if I've got anything. I can't see it now. No, anyway, if you go on the group, on groups.io, it's amateur-30thz, if you want to have a follow of that. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'll use for that. I haven't really got any good reflectors or anything. There's only the telescope. That would probably work. But, there we are. Anyway, I don't really have a lot else to add to that. So, I'll be passing it round to whoever's next. I've forgotten now. Who was it? Dave will have to remind us. I've totally forgotten. Colin! Yes, I shouldn't have forgot that, should I? Right. Okay, well, I think that's it for me for now. No doubt come back after the net with some random conversation about something totally different. But, yeah, round to you, Colin. G4KLB, M0DTS, on the Cubo 100 net.
Okay, thanks a lot, Rob. Let's quickly find the mute button. There we go, excellent. It's difficult to manage all these different things you have to fiddle about with here, isn't it, really? But nonetheless, rather than turn it off, I decided to leave it. I'm quite liking this new shack, so I shall keep. I can see there's a little bit on the bottom right flat, but I haven't messed about with it too much. Okay then, that's all right. So all this talk of HF, I don't know. I have an HF rig here, but I haven't got any aerials for it. So all I'd put up here was an HF vertical because that's all I could do. But that was more than 20 years ago, and I had to take it down before it took itself down. So that was quite a dear one actually. But I need to make some more fiberglass parts for it. So they just disintegrated over. They lasted 20 years and then just fell apart on me. So I expect I can get some more from America. I don't know, but the plan was to make some more. I did actually buy all the component parts to make the fiberglass bits, but I never actually got round to it. And then the fiberglass has gone off now. The resin and everything. But anyway, well, this script seems to be going okay, doesn't it? It seems to be going. First time I've used it, I've just typed in all the appropriate parameters, kept to the recommended bits. Okay, thanks, Dave, on observing that my null packets are different to anybody else's, but I haven't quite got that far with the thing. But that's all right. But one last thing though, before I disappear, I took the dog for a walk today, as I generally do, and the workman had been clearing the brush from around the big transformer that supplies mains to all our houses, and I came across a bit of radio gear. Came across this, which was a bit of a surprise. It's not the sort of thing you expect to find on a dog walk. I haven't gone to recover it, but it did occur to me that it might contain a useful filter. It says on there it's a Pi, obviously Pi base station, which I recognised instantly, and it's a VHF one. So I thought, oh, maybe there's a filter in there for 2 meters. Might be, but it was a bit too big to cart home with the dog. So I need a sleigh or something, don't I, really, to do that. But I haven't gone to rescue it. But perhaps the local people that travel around collecting anything made of metal may have had it, but there we go. Yeah, I need a bigger dog, yeah. Then I can tie it to the dog and bring it home. But I'm thinking there's a lot of yeah, not a pipe for yeah. Yeah, there's Wolfgang's on there. Very good evening, Wolfgang. Okay, so yeah, so that's good. So we've had a pretty good week actually. Actually, been a pretty good week all round. All the little projects that we've been, I've been just tidying up loose ends with these receiver bits and messing about. I'm trying to get a capture device that will capture slightly higher resolution in PAL from a composite than seems to be allowed, but we haven't quite. I've been wrestling with a Blackmagic Intensity Pro card today, which I've had for quite a long time and bought second hand. I did get it working, but it's not quite the quality I'm quite looking for. But there we are. Okay, that's probably enough. This is for John. I did my own. John sent me a picture of a flag the other day, so we're flying the flag. So I've put that on. It doesn't mean anything particularly. We've just observed that a lot of other stations, mainly Italians, I think, seem very proud of their flag, and so we decided we should have a flag. So we've put our flags on there now. So there we are. Oh, one quick test if I can do that. I'll just put the banner on and see how that actually comes out. If it scrolls, that's actually pretty good. I find the banner is a good little test. If you get the banner scrolling properly, then you're probably not too far off. That's very good actually. Yeah, very good, excellent. Well, that bodes well for this script, I have to say. So I only downloaded it just before SQ Net, and give it a little whiz on there. And then I was a little bit late to the party today. I missed the beginning part because I was still doing stuff on SQ. But yeah, very good. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the way this has worked. I've not tested these settings at all. I just typed for the net. That seems to work pretty well. Excellent, that is. Very good indeed. Excellent. That's Tony now, is it? Okay. Oh no, hang on. F4 FKK. That's a good one. Okay then, over to you then. F4 FKK to take it. G4 KLB.